Hi, this is Ron Gannett from beautiful Saddlebrook, Arizona at Community Church, where these days we are asking ourselves, how can we become grand mentors? How can we shape the future of the generations coming behind us? When my mother passed away a couple years ago, we found in her possession some photographs that we couldn't identify. There was my mom or there was my dad, and they were laughing, having a good time, or even hugging someone whose face we didn't know or name we couldn't recall. But now they're gone and we can't answer those questions. Also, we'd think of things like, where did mother go to high school? Or which friend did this for her? Or what job did she have after dad went away to seminary? And we looked at all that stuff and we couldn't put it all together. And we wish that mom and dad were there to answer those questions for us. Well, before my mother died, I had a novel idea. She had macular degeneration and she had lost her eyesight and she couldn't see. And so I didn't want to do something without her permission, but I said, Mom, I would like to come in here periodically to your home and I'd like to interview you about your past. And I took out a little digital recorder that I bought for $24 from an electronics store, and I held it in front of her, and I would ask her questions about childhood, about raising kids, about my dad, memories that she had that we as kids and grandchildren would never know otherwise. In fact, one of the things I discovered is that I had another sibling I never knew. Between my brother and I, my mother had a miscarriage. So one day, when I go to heaven, I'll have the opportunity to meet this brother or sister that I had never known before. I would encourage you to go out and to get a little electronic device. You can buy it at any electronic store. And whenever you think of a story, a memory, an idea, a recipe, a tidbit of advice that you would like to share, just turn on that little digital recorder, speak those words into it, turn it off, and over the years, those memories will accumulate, and one day your children and your grandchildren would love to hear those memories. The Bible is full of stories. The book of Acts tells about the beginning of the church. The Gospels talk about the stories of Jesus. And every one of the stories that we see in the Bible give us lessons, give us advice and help for facing the future. And your family wants to know your story. They want to know how God blessed you and how your life was shaped. And maybe you're forgetting to tell them everything you know. You have a story that they want to hear. Recently, I had the opportunity to go to Philadelphia to participate in my Aunt Ruth's funeral. She was almost 89 years old. And I learned a story about my grandparents from my Aunt Ruth. Her mom and dad, my grandparents, when they were married, they had a habit to communicate to the other person whether or not they had a good or bad day. And if they had a bad day, my grandfather would walk into the house after work with his hat upside down. And that let Grandma know that don't touch me, don't talk to me, things aren't going well. And my grandmother, what she would do if she had a bad day was put her apron on backwards. I learned something about my grandparents that I had never known before. But more than that, I learned about conflict, resolution in the home. And then I need to find ways to deal with the people that I love so that nothing ever breaks those relationships. My friends, you have stories. Those stories will become sweet memories. Those memories can become legends that will give hope to your family.